Welcome to the dedication and celebration of the new Major Howard W. Beal School. My name is Chris Girardi, and I am honored and privileged to serve as the principal at Beal. My honor comes from working alongside such an outstanding community of educators, paraprofessionals, support staff, and leadership team. My privilege comes from welcoming our 591 incredible students through the doors every day with their big smiles and even bigger dreams. My privilege is also working with our school community to foster the next generation of kind and compassionate citizens who seek knowledge, truth, and beauty throughout their lives. Our Beal community is sincerely grateful to the guests and dignitaries who are joining us for this special event. Every guest here today has been instrumental in bringing their individual talents and efforts to the table to make the bricks of this building a reality. However, the strength of this project and the motor that will hold this building together to be a pillar of education for many years to come is the collaboration and teamwork between so many here today. Sorry, I come from a family of bricklayers, so I had to use that analogy. But I have had the good fortune of being part of many meetings with state and local leadership, the MSBA, our Beal Building Committee, our owner's project manager, PMA Consultants, our architecture firm, Lamoureux and Pagano Associates, our construction management team, Fontaine Brothers, and so many more. I use the term our not as a possessive term, but one that connects us to those who have become our family over the past 5 years. Family is a term that means so much to us at Beal, and the relationships that we have formed will continue well after this building has been deemed complete. During today's celebration, you will hear from many of these members who persevered to create an exceptional and innovative learning environment for our students. You will also hear from our esteemed guest, children's author and illustrator Peter Reynolds, who has captured the essence of Beal School in his beautiful mural that runs the length of our central lobby. Embedded in his mural are collected words that are symbolic of Peter's work and represent learning in Shrewsbury. And I can attest to that, as I have had the luxury of collecting feedback from students through early iterations of the mural and watched in awe as Peter actually listened to them and reshaped his own art to hear their voices. And this is when I knew we found the right guy. As we introduce our guests today, we will be connecting our collected words to the core values that our guest speakers bring with them, as they are our models and should be recognized as such. Thank you for allowing us to recognize our role models as they present throughout this event. Now, much like Peter's iterations of the mural, the weather has us on about iteration 31 of our celebration today. But this is symbolic of the past year and a half, where we continue our skills at adapting, improvising, relying so heavily on our amazing IT department, and continuing our "we got this" motto. And we've learned how to clap really well. To our kindergarten, first grade, and second grade students zooming in from their classrooms and connected to us on our south wall, welcome, Beal friends. We got this. At this time, I would like to invite two of our remarkable fourth grade role models to the stage. Chloe Huang and Hannah Bartel, please join me aside the podium to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, my name is Chloe Huang, and I am a student in Miss Sarah's class. Please join me standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated with listening ears.
Thank you, Chloe. My name is Hannah Bartel, and I am also a student in Miss Sala's class. One of our awards collected on our mural is Together at Beal. This means we walk side by side and share a connection by being students in the same school community. One way we celebrate our togetherness is by singing our school song, Cheer Cheer for the New Beal School. This video we recorded together will show our fourth grade choir led by our music teachers, Ms. Caldwell and Mr. Conster. Students out in the classrooms, please join us in singing this song.
Good morning, everyone, students, esteemed guests. My name is Miss Aconcio, and I am privileged to be able to be here as one of the music teachers at this beautiful building. Thank you so much for inviting me into your district. I'm having such a fantastic time getting to know our wonderful community. Just for some context, in my first weeks of teaching here at the new Beal, we were presented with the school song and its iteration, Cheers, Cheers to Old Beal School. Well, I'm excited that we are able to ring in this new building. Please enjoy listening to our fourth graders who worked so hard at learning the song. Fourth graders, this is your moment. Listening ears on.
Cheers, cheers to New Beal School. We go to school where it's really cool. Learning how to work and play. Learning our lessons every day. Sharing the laughter, sharing the fun. Sharing the good times with everyone. Listening, laughing, loving, learning. Learning the Beal School way.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Joe Sawyer, the Superintendent of Schools, and it's wonderful to have you here today. We're going to switch up the order just a little bit of the program because one of our special guests, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, has to make her way to another event. So at this time, we're going to have one of our students introduce our Lieutenant Governor.
And my name is Jana O from Miss Barnes' class. The next group of presenters represent leadership, which is the next word collected on our mural. We are so grateful for the leaders that we are introducing to speak, and thank you for supporting the construction of the new Beal School. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito is the 72nd Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. She was elected in 2014 along with Governor Charlie Baker and then re-elected for the second term in 2018. Lieutenant Governor Polito is a lifelong Shrewsbury resident who, in addition to being a successful attorney and business owner, served as a Shrewsbury Town Meeting member and as a member of the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen before being elected as a state representative serving Shrewsbury and part of Westboro. During her time as Lieutenant Governor, some of her areas of focus have been on supporting innovation in local government and improving science, math, technology, and engineering educational opportunities for young people, especially for girls and underrepresented minorities. Lieutenant Governor Pulido, welcome to the new Beal School.
That was awesome, Jana. I'm going to take you on the road. That's the best introduction I've had in a long time. You did a wonderful job. Thank you. It's awesome. Woo! It is so incredibly awesome to be here with all of you. I want to say a big thank you to all the students who are here and to all of you in your classrooms. Thank you for having me here today on this very special celebration. I do believe you have that hand clapping down pat. Good job. I also want to thank you for that very special song about your cool school. I have enjoyed over the years watching and listening to the singing that has come out of the Beal community. It's a very special part of who you are, and you embrace it fully. Today is a very special day, and for the students who are young, I hope that you are young. You are the youngest of our population in this community. I hope you find some way to capture it and remember it always. It is a day that all of us here, the more adults in the room, will always remember. And any day here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts when we can celebrate education and officially open a new school is a great day. I want to start also by thanking Dr. Sawyer and his entire leadership team for their extraordinary work over the past year and a half. Most importantly, keeping you safe and working with our Shrewsbury families to make sure that every single one of you had access to the very best education possible. And to build on that as you start your new year in person at this beautiful new school and the schools across our community. So just congratulations for your hard work and thank you. Major Howard Beal is a hero. He was enlisted in World War I from Worcester, Massachusetts. He served and sacrificed for our country to allow us to have the opportunity to access the quality of life and what we celebrate today, the access to education and opportunity. He was a surgeon. He was a well-educated man. And today we remember him in a very special way with the further naming of this new school, knowing that his education served him quite well so he could serve our country. I want to thank you for continuing to honor the Beal name in your new Beal school. This is a beautiful building, okay? It is one of the newest here in our Commonwealth, and we are very proud of this building. But what this building validates is, in my mind, two things. It validates that this community values public education. That you understand that education and providing the best services relative to education in a community serves families, it attracts families to want to be here, it certainly supports the property values for everyone. But it also validates that you understand the value of public education for our Commonwealth and for our future. I wish to thank the taxpayers and all of the community officials for understanding the importance of this project so that they could do their job in providing the very best education, not only for you, but for many, many students to come here in Shrewsbury. I also want to thank our partners in DCAM, a state agency that was long the owner of the land in which this building sits. 20 acres used for this school, 13 acres for your soccer fields, 49 acres for agriculture, over 80 acres that was not fully used until Shrewsbury laid out a vision to make this a campus of opportunity for students and for our community for many, many years to come. To the details of this building, I credit Chair LeBeau and your building committees and the amazing talent of Fontaine Brothers and others that really worked hard during a pandemic to not lose sight of the goals of delivering this building on time, under budget, so that you, the students, could benefit from the very best education of all. So congratulations to all of you. I'm very honored to be with you to celebrate this milestone.
My name is Owen Salvi, and I'm a student in Mrs. Hines' class. The word collected on our Beal mural that best fits our next presenter is courage. Dr. Joseph M. Sawyer is the superintendent of Shrewsbury Public Schools and makes courageous decisions for our students every day to keep us safe, happy, and learning. The courage shown by Dr. Sawyer leading our school district through a pandemic and still making sure this new school was ready to open is greatly appreciated. Please welcome Dr. Sawyer.
Thank you so much, Owen, for that kind introduction. And thank you, Lieutenant Governor Polito, for those inspiring words about this opening of this wonderful new school. And we know you have to move on shortly, so feel free, please. Our students are doing a wonderful job. I'm going to ask you for this piece, because I have a lot of people to thank quickly, that we're going to hold our applause until the very, very end. Does that work for everyone? We can do that? All right, I see lots of thumbs up. I am so very excited and proud to celebrate the opening and dedication of this wonderful new school. And while I'm sorry that the wet weather didn't allow us to be outside with all of our students, I am glad our 3rd and 4th graders are here with us in the gym, and that our kindergarten, 1st and 2nd graders are joining us via Zoom from their classrooms. I want to thank Mr. Greg Marceau, Mr. Brian Sheeler from our technology department, and Ms. Liz Poplowski and Mr. Mark Serra from the Shrewsbury Media Connection for their assistance with all of the setup today and the technology and the video. Also, a special thank you to Beal custodian Christy Baldino for her assistance with setting up this event. On the very first day of school here at the new Beal School, I was greeting students in the lobby, and I met a 1st grader named Prince. When I asked him what he thought of his new school, he looked around at the beautiful lobby and the colorful mural and said, "This looks like a place where we can be heroes." I think that comment captures the spirit of what happens when a community comes together to create a beautiful space for children's learning that makes them feel as if they can become a hero or anything they want to be. Now, while they may not wear costumes or capes, the people who made the new Beal School possible are heroes to me. We're fortunate to have many of them here as our special guests today. Our 4th grade student presenters will be introducing each of our speakers, and right now, please allow me to introduce and thank the following people who made this new school possible, some of whom are here and others who couldn't be. I do ask you hold your applause, and if people, when your name is mentioned, can give a little wave so our students can see who you are. You'll notice that some people are mentioned more than once because they played multiple leadership roles in the creation of this new school. So, from our Massachusetts State Government, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, Representative Hannah Kane, Senator Michael Moore. From the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the state organization who provided a significant portion of the funding and oversight of this building project, Chief Executive Officer Jim McDonald, Executive Director Jack McCarthy, and Project Manager Evan Levesque. The current and former members of the Beal School Building Committee, who oversaw this $92 million budgeted project, which is several million dollars under budget, to build this 141,600 square foot school. John LeBeau, Chair and Selectman, Jim Kane, Town Moderator, former Selectman and former Chairperson of the Building Committee, Kevin Mizikar, Town Manager, Keith Baldinger, Public Buildings Division Manager, Erin Boucher, Community Representative, Patrick Collins, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Robert Cox, a Community Representative and former Superintendent of Public Buildings, Sandra Fritz from the School Committee, Chris Girardi, Principal of Beal School, Dan Morgado, former Town Manager, and John Masiello, former Community Representative. Our architects from Lamoureux Pagano Associates who created this incredible building design, especially Katie Crockett, President, Sean Brennan, Project Architect, Natalie Gabriel, Architect, and retired President Michael Pagano. Our project managers from PMA Consultants, especially Walter Hartley and Deborah Scher. The construction management company, Fontaine Brothers, especially Dave Fontaine Jr., Vice President, and Frank Payer, Project Manager. The school committee, who are our stewards of our public education here in Shrewsbury. John Wensky, Chair, Sandra Fritz, Vice Chair, Lindsay Heffernan, Secretary, Dr. Dale McGee, and Jason Palich. And also joining us today, former member Erin Canzano and former Superintendent of Schools Anthony Bent. Board of Selectmen, who are the stewards of our town's municipal government. John Samia, Chair, and also a former school committee member. John LeBeau, Vice Chair. Mo DiPaolo, Clerk. Beth Cassavant, and Teresa Flynn. Our Finance Committee, who oversees our town's financial resources. Mark Adler, Chair. Vikram Chabra, Vice Chair. Carlos Garcia, Clerk. Rajiv Dayal, Alan Jarrell, Hannah Kane, Dennis O'Connell, Lena Polito, Judy Vetter, and former members Erin Howard, Mark Murray, and Jordan Rubin. Our town's municipal government leaders who supported this project: Kevin Mizikar, Town Manager; Kristen Loss, Assistant Town Manager; Jeff Howland, Department of Public Works Director; Angela Snell, Superintendent of Public Facilities and Parks; Keith Baldinger, Public Buildings Division Manager; Kevin Esposito, Parks and Cemetery Division Manager; Dan Rowley, Water and Sewer Superintendent; Patty Sheehan, Inspector of Buildings; Andy Truman, Town Engineer; Kevin Anderson, Chief of Police; Jim Bona, Fire Chief; Seth Colby, Deputy Fire Chief; and Stephen Medelis, Town Council. Leaders from Selco Municipal Electric and Cable Operations, including Christopher Roy, General Manager; Ralph Icarino, Director of Engineering and Operations; Joel Malaver, Manager of Cable Operations; Greg Arnato, Director of Information Technology; Jackie Pratt, Director of Integrated Resources and Communications; and Michael Hale, our retired General Manager of Selco. And certainly our extraordinary leaders from the Shrewsbury Public Schools, especially the administration and central office who provided, and our principal and here, Chris Girardi, who provided the educational vision for this project and who turned the building into a true school, especially Meg Belcito, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services; Amy Clouder, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction and Assessment; Patrick Collins, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations; Dr. Jane Lizotte, Assistant Superintendent for Community Partnerships and Wellbeing; Barb Malone, Executive Director of Human Resources; Brian LaRue, Director of Information Technology; Shelley Hoy, an outstanding educator from Floral Street School who has become the new Assistant Principal here at Beal, and a school leader who's done extraordinary work in creating this wonderful new school community and who's put in enormous effort to ensure that we have a successful opening of our new school, Principal Chris Girardi. At this point, can we give all of those folks a wonderful round of applause? I'm very proud that today we're also joined by our other outstanding building principals, several members of our district's leadership team, and of course the superb educators and support staff here at Beal School, whose efforts bring to life this school this year are so deeply appreciated. We have representatives from the Beal PTO who joined us, including past President Katie Treber and President Michelle Conlon. And I also want to mention especially our town citizens for providing the funding, not only for this beautiful school building, but for providing the financial resources to ensure that we could hire the educators and support staff needed to open it. It is important to mention by name some community members who went far above and beyond to ensure that the campaigns to approve the funding for this building project and for the operational override were successful. Thank you to the following people for their tireless advocacy, without which this project would not exist: Jason Molina, Beth Cassavant, Suzanne Remington, Kelly Barner, Erin Ryan, Michelle Conlon, Jason Palich, Lindsay Heffernan, Ginger Conti, Katie Treber, Ann Gray, Nancy Lee Nelson, Christina Heffernan, Kerry Harrington, Rachel Schrafer, Krista Dupre, Ellery Harrington, Corey Torres, Elizabeth Van Orton, Erin Canzano, Katrina Lallier, Julia Cassavant, and Neil Heffernan. I also wish to thank Robert Chief Joseph Turkanian for generously donating the funding for the incredible lobby mural created by our special guest Peter Reynolds, along with outdoor landscape features here on the Beal campus. This is an historic day for the town of Shrewsbury. It is remarkable how this new Beal school compares to the original Major Howard W. Beal Memorial High School, which served our community well in different ways for almost 100 years. The differences between the two structures are representative of the evolution of public education in Shrewsbury over the past century. Our school's namesake, Major Beal, was an extraordinary public servant as a physician and a leader in World War I, in which he lost his life serving our country. He certainly was a hero, and we should all be proud that his legacy continues on to this extraordinary school where, as my young friend Prince said, our students can develop into the future heroes of our town, state, and nation. Thank you, everyone, for making this all possible.
Thank you, Dr. Sawyer. My name is Beal, and I am a student in Mrs. Hollier's class. Mr. John LeBeau is the Commissioner of the Department of Agricultural Resources of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Vice Chair of the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen, and the current Chair of the Beal School Building Committee. Mr. LeBeau is a lifelong Shrewsbury resident who became a horticulturist and worked for many years leading his family's former business, Shrewsbury Nurseries. So he is very excited about the beautiful growth here at the New Beal School. Mr. LeBeau, welcome to the New Beal School.
Thank you very much for that very kind introduction. Good morning. Senator Moore, Rep. Kane, my colleagues from the Board of Selectmen, Shrewsbury School Committee, Executive Director McCarthy, Mr. Reynolds, friends, guests, and our most distinguished guests, our students. I am delighted to participate in the dedication ceremony of this project that the Building Committee has been working on since April 2016. I am pleased to report to you, as every Building Committee chair has done since the opening of the Oak Middle School in 2004, that the Building Committee has delivered the residents and taxpayers of Shrewsbury a thoughtfully designed, very well made, aesthetically pleasing, and highly functional building on time, though I'm reminded there was one delay of a couple months for a project since then, and all of them within budget. I know my colleagues on the Building Committee, who Dr. Sawyer previously named, and longtime Building Committee Chair Jim Kane, would all agree with me that this successful project was the result of collaboration between multiple partners. Please take a look in your programs at the names Dr. Sawyer mentioned. So many people and entities that led the effort. But please also understand there were many, many more that contributed to the construction of this beautiful building in which our most excellent educators will cultivate our most valuable and precious resource, our kids. Following its establishment, the committee, with the strong support of the school committee and department and the municipal government, scoped out a project with the Massachusetts School Building Authority. Director McCarthy, please tell the treasurer the great work we've accomplished in Shrewsbury with MSBA's support. Thank you for that support and guidance on this project, past projects, and anticipated future projects. Next was engagement with some familiar partners who have delivered for the town very well in the past. First, we brought on PMA Consulting, Walter Hartley and Deborah Scherer as owner project managers. Next was Lamoureux Pagano Associates, Catherine Crockett, president, Sean Brennan, architect, and good morning, Michael, good to see you. Then we brought on construction manager Fontaine Brothers, Dave Fontaine, junior vice president, and Frank Pear, project manager. These are the folks who designed, constructed, and efficiently managed this very successful construction project with the oversight of the building committee. But there were many others involved as well. The school committee and school department established the program the building needed to be built in order to support. Our municipal government considered how it would deliver all the necessary municipal services to the building. Selco supported through all its primary services as our electric and broadband utility. I must acknowledge my predecessor as chair of the committee, longtime chair, Jim Kane, who left the committee earlier this year because he retired from the Board of Selectmen. I'm truly disappointed that Jim couldn't join us today because I was truly looking forward to tease him that yet again he needs me to finish and clean up the things that he just can't. Though I find that amusing, and I'm glad maybe a few of you do as well, that's far from the truth. Jim led our committee to work so effectively throughout the project, and unfortunately had to miss the last few months. So please, don't tell him I said this. But he led the committee, and with the committee did an absolutely fantastic job, as evidenced by where we are today. All I had to do was follow the path that he and the committee laid out. And of course, it's the voters to thank. The voters who trusted that the project proposal the Board of Selectmen brought to the Finance Committee in the town meeting, and then to the voters at large, would once again be a realistic one that could be trusted as one that could be delivered on time and on budget. And as Dr. Sawyer mentioned, I too want to thank the community supporters for Beal for its successful ballot campaign. Such successful collaborations, as I've mentioned, don't occur easily. And frankly, what seems as business as usual in Shrewsbury isn't the same or routine in many other communities. They are the result of hard work, a lot of thought, and the leadership provided by a community's elected and appointed officials. As the very proud son of a major Beal High School graduate class of 1942, and the grateful father whose 3 children got their start at the Beal Early Childhood Center, I anxiously look forward to the beginning of the second 100 years of Shrewsbury's Beal School. To you Beal students here today, we built this for you. Go learn in it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jim Kane is the Shrewsbury Town Monitor, former member of the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen, and the former chair of Beal School Building Committee. Mr. Kane is the president of and CEO of the A.E. Makepeace Company, which is the world's largest cranberry grower and real estate holder in eastern Massachusetts. During his time on the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen and chair of the Beal Building Committee, his leadership resulted in our town being able to purchase this beautiful property on Lake Street to be used for farming, youth soccer, and as the site of our beautiful new school. Unfortunately, Mr. Kane was unable to attend today due to work commitment, but we look forward to having him visit Beal soon.
Mr. Jack McCarthy has been the Executive Director of the Massachusetts School Building Authority since 2012. The MSBA has been responsible for the investment of over $15 billion in building and renovating public schools in Massachusetts. The new Beal School is the second major new school project built by a partnership between the MSBA and the town of Shrewsbury. And we think Mr. McCarthy and his team will be impressed with the results. Mr. McCarthy, welcome to the new Beal School.
There is no graceful way to take a mask off, I have to say. On behalf of Treasurer Goldberg, Jim McDonald, Maria Popolo, and Evan Levesque, I don't know where Evan is, all from the MSBA, oh, there he is. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this celebration. You know, the mission of the Mass School Building Authority is to partner with communities to promote the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective public school facilities. And this project certainly exceeds that ideal. Benjamin Franklin once said, "An investment in education pays the best interest." And we at the MSBA are proud to be your investing partners to the tune of approximately $32 million. This is my Captain Obvious moment of my presentation, and that's when I tell you about Senator Moore and Representative Kane, and what a great job they've done in making sure that the MSBA is paying attention to what Shrewsbury needs and making sure that everything is in order. So I thank them both for their leadership on that. And Super Joe Sawyer is really Super Joe Sawyer, and we're just happy to work with him on this project. He's been a great partner of ours. But I just want to congratulate John, and Jim's not here. your building committee chairs, because you put together an impressive group of consultants, from PMA consultants to Lamoureux Pagano and to Fontaine Brothers. And I'm not in the least surprised that it's on time and under budget, because that's what those three groups do for us all over the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So great job in picking them, and great job in performing for you guys. Thank you. So I'd like to talk to the students in the gym and you folks on Zoom. A couple of people have mentioned, the citizens of Shrewsbury went to the polls and they voted to raise their own taxes. And you think about that, why would people vote to raise their own taxes? But I listen to these introductions, I see the eager faces in the crowd, I can even tell from the Zoom what's going on there. And it makes so much sense, because they did it for you, because they know you deserve a great educational facility so that you can compete in this global economy. So when you go home tonight, thank your parents. If you see your neighbor, thank your neighbor for voting to allow the school. And the teachers are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to ask you all to stand up, even in your classrooms. Stand up. Look at all these people sitting down here, because they're all responsible for getting this construction done. So on the count of three, I just want to ask you to say, look someone in the eye, pick them out, look them in the eye, and just say thank you. So on the count of three, we'll say thank you, and then we'll sit down quietly, hopefully, after that. So ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, great job. So in closing, there's a quote that I always like to use at events like this, and it sort of represents how we at the MSBA feel about what we do. Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune, and he once described a school as a building of 4 walls with tomorrow inside. And we at the MSBA are proud to be part of Shrewsbury's tomorrow. Thank you.
My name is Desmond Coleman, and I am a student in Mrs. Francis' class. Representative Hannah Kane has served all of Shrewsbury and part of Westboro. As a representative to the Massachusetts House of Representatives since 2015, where she serves on several important committees, including the Ways and Means Committee. She also serves as a member of the Shrewsbury Finance Committee, and when her children were younger, she supported our schools as the president of the Floral Street School PTO. Representative Kane has advocated strongly for our school district at the state and local level, and her leadership has made a difference in providing funding for our schools. In the construction of wonderful new facilities like Sherwood Middle School and the New Beal School. Representative Kane, welcome to the New Beal School.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. I am so absolutely thrilled to be here with all of you this morning. There is nothing like being in an elementary school. I was lucky to have 2 parents who were educators. My mom was a 5th grade teacher, and my father was a principal and superintendent. And I spent a lot of my childhood in schools, not only when I was going to school, but when I was going to games and opportunities to be in the schools for where my parents taught. And so, as somebody who did spend a lot of time at Floral, for many years when my 3 children were there, and who loved being part of the Floral Street School community, I am so excited to be back in a school, in an elementary school, and to see all of you young students here today. Earlier, Mr. LeBeau mentioned my husband, Jim Kane, who had served as the chair of the building committee for a period of time. And I want you to think about something. I was connected in such a way to schools because my parents were educators, and I wanted to volunteer when I became a parent in the Floral Street School community to support that. My husband grew up with his grandfather having served on school committee for 40 years in Marlborough. And there's a school named for my husband's grandfather in Marlborough, the Francis J. Kane School. And so when my husband learned that we would have the opportunity to build this new Beal School, he wanted to be part of building this school because he remembered from his childhood, just like I remembered from my childhood, how important it was to our parents and to the members of the community to have excellent buildings where students can learn and thrive. And as I said, I was a proud member of the floral community, and I'm so excited to see so many connections still to the floral community here. So many of the teachers who are here, who I'm so excited to see. And I'm thrilled that your assistant principal, Shelley Hoy, was somebody who I got to work with at Floral as well. So I am going to claim you, Beal School, as one of my schools as well, that I feel tightly connected to and where I hope to spend time with. I'm also grateful to Mr. McCarthy and his mentioning the work that we all do together. This school is here because so many people worked together. And sometimes as students, you don't get to see all that working together. But I hope you're really listening to the comments today and seeing that as us adults, it was our #1 priority to all of us work together to make sure that we were able to have this school here so that you could have the proper space to learn in such an amazing environment. And there are other people who have done things for this school that you'll never see or hear from. One of them is Mr. Robert Turkanian, Chief Joseph, as he likes to be called. The beautiful mural that you have out here is because he donated the funds to make that so. And we are celebrating Mr. Turkanian right now. He's the Spirit of Shrewsbury Grand Marshal, even though we don't get to have an in-person parade this year. He is the marshal of our parade. And so sometimes we find ways to celebrate people even when they quietly do things on behalf of people in town. And that's a good example of Mr. Turkanian. He wanted to make sure that when you walked in this lobby every day, you had that beautiful mural to welcome you. So I also want to share the partnership that we do at the state level. You're going to hear from Senator Moore in a few minutes. And Senator Moore and I had work to do at the state level in Beacon Hill at the State House to make sure that this project could advance through moving some legislation through and helping the town have the ability to choose this location to site this beautiful school. And I'm not talking about so many other people who worked together. Dr. Sawyer, I like that, Super Sawyer, that's good, that was a good one, mentioned a lot of the people that came together. And there are also a lot of people, including maybe some of your parents, who went out and talked to people in town when we as a community had to decide if we were going to pass the money needed to build this school. And I do especially want to recognize the people who led that effort, including school committee member Jason Palich and select woman Beth Casvan and Jason Molina, who's a town meeting member. They put so much work into making sure that voters in Shrewsbury understood why we needed this building. And I bet a lot of your parents, and you should go home and ask them tonight, do they remember having been a part of getting this passed? Do they remember conversations about it? And as Mr. McCarthy said, thank your parents too, because they probably played a part in making sure that this building was here for you. And I want to make one last plug for supporting people. Always support your PTO. Thank you, Michelle Conlon, for being the PTO president. And when you go home tonight and talk to your parents, ask them what they're doing to support the PTO and make sure they know how important that is, because that brings a lot of resources right into your classrooms. And I do want to give a shout out to the folks in the classrooms who are watching us. What great technology that you have the ability to be joining us today. That's not something that years ago could have happened. And so thank you for the folks who thought about all of these great things when you built this school, what was needed to make sure that we could always feel community, even when we might not always be able to be physically together. So I am going to close with a big thank you to everyone, with the hope that you students might remember this day in your future, when you might have a young family and be living in a community. Think about all the people that came here to work on this, and think about how you might be part of doing something like that in your community when you get to be our age, which isn't that old. So don't be thinking it's that far away in your life, okay? But I'm thrilled to be here, thrilled to see all the people in this room who made this possible. And maybe Mr. Girardi and Mr. LeBeau, could I present this to the two of you? I brought a citation from the House of Representatives And this is something that we give on special occasions to indicate people who did something that we should stop and pay attention to. And I want to read it so that you can hear the words. It says, "Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to the Beal Building Committee and Shrewsbury Public Schools community in recognition of the opening and dedication of the major Howard W. Beal School. Our community is excited to see this beautiful new school building come to life with educators, staff, and students, and grateful for the dedicated oversight on behalf of the town's taxpayers. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success." And it's signed by the Speaker of the House and myself, and I hope that it is something that can live on in this school so that I can feel connected to you each and every day. Congratulations to all of you.
My name is Oliver McCoy, and I am a student in Miss Hines' class. Senator Michael Moore has represented Shrewsbury and other parts of central Massachusetts as our state senator since 2008. Senator Moore has been a strong advocate for our K-12 public schools to have enough resources to help students be successful, including the creation of new schools at Beal. And he is a key leader for public education in our state as the Senate Chair for the Joint Committee on Higher Education. Senator Moore, welcome to the new Beal School.
Good morning. It's great to be here today. All right, kids, good news. I'm the last speaker. All right. You know, as we had all the other speakers up here speaking, I was thinking back over the course of time that I've been in office, what this property has been used for. When I was driving up, I was thinking about how, when I first got elected, we had the Glavin School, that was here, that was serving people with developmental disabilities. And how this really spoke well to the community of Shrewsbury, that this property and the building was being used for to serve the community, to serve the public. And then as the school closed, in which a lot of people in this community helped, tried to fight, because we didn't want to see those services gone. And then from there we had, and I think this is a true testament of how state and local government really works together. We had people from the community reaching out to myself, and I think at the time it was Representative Beal, then Representative Kane, when she came into office, that they wanted to see this property continue to be used for the community. And it went from taking one portion of it to dedicating it to the Shrewsbury Soccer League. And that's where we have that section of the property that's now used for that. And then I think it was former selectman Jim Kane who came to us that wanted a section of it used for agriculture. And then the community reached out to us when the building was finally closing that this would be a great opportunity to use it for you, the children, and have the new Beal School constructed here. And it's just nice to see how this property will continue to serve the community for many, many years now to come. And hopefully, as Selectman LeBeau said, for the next 100 years. So I want to thank the community of Shrewsbury for working with us, to come forward to allowing us to be partners to continue to have this property used for your service. I have a lot of thank yous I have to get done before hopefully you kids will have some fun. I want to thank the Shrewsbury School Committee. I also want to thank the Board of Selectmen, MSBA, and actually, again, none of this would be here if it wasn't for the great work of the MSBA in providing the services and the funding and their expertise in the construction of these schools. So if we can give a round of applause to the MSBA. We all know the great work that Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito have done, but the Treasurer's Office and the work the MSBA has done across the state really is leading us into the future with providing services for the children here today. And I also want to thank all the other partners that we have, and I don't want to miss out on anyone. who's involved in this school. But before I get to when I want some, I guess, some interaction with the kids, I do have a citation for this moment. If I could have a representative from the Shrewsbury Public Schools, I guess, is Super Joe Sawyer still here? I know she's not. Okay, so whoever wants for the school committee, and then the Beal Building Committee. I have a citation from the State Senate. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to the Shrewsbury Public Schools, the Shrewsbury School Committee, Beal Building Committee, in recognition of the ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating the grand opening of the new major Howard W. Beal School. And it's signed by the Senate President and myself, and thank you to everyone involved here in the community for, okay. And who would like to get this? So thank you very much.
We'll take it and we'll give it to the school.
Okay, kids, you ready? This is your chance. I know you must have a lot of pent-up energy right now. So first, this school is dedicated to Howard Beal. So if we can give, and this is to the kids here in the gymnasium and in the rooms, if we can give a nice big loud yell thanking Howard Beal for his service to us here at Shrewsbury. All right, are you ready? Okay. All right, yell. Thank you. Okay. Next, just to thank all my colleagues here from the school committee, the Board of Selectmen, Representative Kane, the MSBA, and everyone, if we can do on the count of three, another yell. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yell. Okay, this is the last one. So no matter what all of us have done on the state service, on the local end, none of this or these services that you are going to have in this school would be provided unless your local leaders, but more importantly, the taxpayers and your parents, your mom and dad. If they didn't support this project, this wouldn't be here. So think of this, and everyone in the classrooms, you want to blow out our eardrums. On the count of 3, thanking your parents and the voters, the taxpayers in Shrewsbury. Okay? 1, 2, 3, yell thank you. All right, thank you. Hopefully I'm the last one of you speakers, and hope you enjoyed the school, and thank you to all the taxpayers in Shrewsbury and the parents.
Cooperation is the next pick who will be recognizing from the Beal Borough. Shrewsbury is thankful to have such a strong, dedicated school committee that cooperates so well with the community. Representing the school committee today, Sandra Fritz, the Vice Chair Sandra Fritz has served on the school committee since 2008, including as a chair multiple times. She is also the school committee's representative on the Beal Building Committee. Mrs. Fritz has supported public education in our town in various ways for the past 25 years. As a parent of few Shrewsbury High Schools, graduates as a member of various school councils, and as an active board member of the school Shrewsbury Education Foundation. She has spent countless of hours advocating to make our school better for our students, families, and staff. Mrs. Fritz, welcome to the new Beal School.
Thank you. Good evening. Good morning, everyone. Generations of Shrewsbury students were well educated at the Beal School on Maple Ave, but during that building was at the end of its useful life due to growth in our student population, particularly at the elementary level, and overcrowding had become a significant issue across the district. In November of 2018, our community once again voted to support public education and approve the new Beal Elementary School project to relieve overcrowding and provide parity across all elementary schools, as well as provide an opportunity for the district to approve free full-day kindergarten for all students. The new Beal Elementary School is a sound investment for our community, and its cost is shared between the town and the state of Massachusetts under the guidance of the Massachusetts School Building Authority. This important partnership with the MSBA takes advantage of a significant percentage of state reimbursement dollars and was a cost-effective approach to such a large capital project. This beautiful new elementary school is modern, environmentally friendly, and it incorporates sustainable building systems that will serve our community for decades. It is a long-term solution for our district's elementary space issues, and it meets the educational needs for our district today and in the future. As the school committee's representative on the Beal Building Committee, it has not only been an extremely interesting educational experience for me, but a privilege to work with many talented project professionals whose expertise and dedication skillfully guided this project, especially during the challenges that arose during the COVID pandemic. On behalf of the school committee, I would like to thank the Beal project team, Katie Crockett, Sean Brennan, and Natalie Gabriel, architects from Lamro Garner Associates, who are not only extremely talented professionals, as you can see by this stunning building, but they also designed a school that will meet all educational programming needs for our students. Walter Hartley and Deb Shear from PMA Consultants are the owner's project manager and have been with us every step of the way to actively manage the project, assist with problem solving, and collaborate with the MSBA. They have kept us on schedule and on budget. The general contractor for the project is Fontaine Brothers Incorporated. Construction manager Dave Fontaine Jr. and project manager Frank Payer were instrumental in making this project, make sure that this project had materials and workers on site, and in order for the project to be on time. Materials were always here, and this building did open on time. At the end of each building, Jim Kane would often ask Frank, is there anything that would keep him up at night? Frank would pause, but he would always answer and say, yeah, things kept me up at night. But rarely, if ever, was there anything significant about the project that caused us to be concerned. There was always, everything was in order, on time. Due to the experience of Dave and Frank in the construction industry and their ability to forecast and plan, this was a very successful project. And just to highlight a point, the MSBA questioned whether our furniture order was being placed too early. But Frank and Dave were carefully watching the delays in receiving inventory. And if any of you have ordered furniture recently during COVID, you will know that there has been significant delays in receiving things. And to be frank, this is one of the few schools that opened in Massachusetts with all of our furniture in place. So next time I order some furniture, I'm calling Frank and Dave to come with me shopping. Shrewsbury has a very impressive track record of completing capital projects on time and on budget. This project deserves special recognition as it was not only completed on time but under budget, and this was during a worldwide pandemic. I want to personally thank the entire professional team for their dedication, skill, and work ethic. This building is a testament to their good work and professionalism and their strong partnership with our school department on this important project. The Beal Building Committee has been meeting since June 22nd, 2016. It is really hard to believe it has been 5 years since we began this project. I think I can speak for all of us when I say it is extremely gratifying to be here today to see this amazing building and have our students with us today actively engaged in learning. I want to thank Beal Building Committee members, Chair John LeBeau, Town Manager Kevin Mizikar, School Superintendent Joe Sawyer, Assistant Superintendent for Operations and Administration Patrick Collins, Beal School Principal Chris Girardi, Public Facilities Manager Keith Baldinger, and members Erin Boucher and Bob Cox, as well as former Chair Jim Kane, for their time and dedication to the Beal School project. I would also like to thank Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Amy Clowder, and Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, Randall Cito, who were instrumental in leading the project to provide the MSBA with the new Beal Schools educational plan, which was part of the review process for the project's approval. At the time of Shrewsbury's submission, we received feedback that it was one of, if not the best, MSBA had seen. Today is the culmination of many years of hard work and planning for our community. The new Beal School reflects the partnership of the working groups I mentioned today, as well as parents, teachers, community members, students, school administrators, and our town leadership. This beautiful new school is a commitment to the town of Shrewsbury to provide today's children and future generations a space that will allow for quality educational services. The new Beal School is a powerful representation of what a community can achieve when it comes together to support public education. Thank you for allowing me to share this important day with all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Fritz, and all the leaders for making the new Beal School possible. Please join me in welcoming back Ms. Falvo and Mr. Concio via video, who led our fourth grade choir earlier this week in singing the dot song. Students out in the neighborhoods, please join us if you can.
Hi again. Before I say some very brief, I promise, remarks about the dot song. Students, I see you fading, okay? Take your arm, shake an arm. Shake the other arm. Shake your arm to the right. Bring it down. Take a breath. Feeling good? Okay. I think that the music will speak for itself, and these beautiful words by Mr. Peter H. Reynolds, just make your mark and see where it takes you. We have had such a great start here in our 4 weeks together. We only had 4 rehearsals to do this 4th grade, so props to you. 3rd graders, we've got something to look forward to next year. Please enjoy our rendition of the Dot Song recorded by Emily Arrow with words by Peter H. Reynolds.
Empty paper, like a polar bear in a snowstorm. See where it takes you. See where it takes you. When you make a mark. All you gotta do is start. Paint a dot and watch it splatter. Make a mark. Make it matter. Make it matter. I wanna see you sign it. Put your signature at the bottom. See where it takes you. See where it takes you. Make a mark. All you gotta do is start. Paint a dot and watch it splatter. Make a mark. Make it matter. Make it matter. When somebody else thinks they can't draw a line, remember that you can help. Below that squiggle, help them sign. When you make a mark, all you gotta do is start. Paint a dot and watch it splatter. Make a mark. Make it matter. Make it matter.
Thank you, Ms. Concio and all Beal performers. This song performed by our grade 4 chorus is important, introducing our guest speaker, Peter H. Reynolds. This song speaks to his art and co-written by Mr. Reynolds himself. Mr. Reynolds is the children's author and illustrator and co-writer of the song, and has allowed his art to live forever at Beal School through his beautiful mural. This mural includes another word collected, which is creative. Mr. Reynolds' creativity inspires us to reach for our own words tell the world who we are and how we will make it better. Please join me in welcoming Peter Hamilton Reynolds to the SBA.
Wow. What a great introduction. Thank you. I almost don't have to speak. I think you were very eloquent. Oh, I love that word, eloquent. I'm a word collector, by the way. How many people here collect words? And the answer is everybody, right? We've been collecting words since we were born, right? When you hear words, when you're a baby, of course, you can't say them, but your brain is actually recording them in those amazing brains of ours. It's so awesome. Thank you, too, for that amazing song. For those people who performed in that, the Dot song by my friend Emily Arrow, we teamed up. We're collaborators. I brought a collaborator with, another great word, right? Collaborator. I brought a collaborator with me today, my twin brother, Paul. He's over there. Hey, Paul Reynolds, who is also an author and illustrator. Do we have any twins in the audience? How about any twins in the classrooms? Yeah, we've got some. Who would like to be a twin? Yeah, we highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun being a twin. What an honor it is for me to walk into this brand new school and to be a part of this school. I got to illustrate a school. How cool is that? But this is not the first time I illustrated a Shrewsbury school, because 16 years ago, I actually painted a mural, not as big as this one, at the old Beal school. So that's when our dots first got connected. So I painted a mural, and then when we were building this new school, when you guys were building this new school, we thought, wouldn't it be nice to save that, the mural, and through the wonders of technology, it got reproduced, and you can see it on the, just down the hall. You can see the original mural. And then the architect said, wouldn't it be wonderful to be inspired by that mural and create a really, really big mural? And so we set on that journey together to create a mural that would inspire everybody that walks through this building. Not just the kids, but the teachers and parents, the whole community. And I actually collaborated with all of you. I actually asked for words. I said, what are your favorite words? And you guys brainstormed last year. You brainstormed words that I incorporated into the mural. So you might recognize some of your words that you contributed to the mural. I am such a big believer in public education. Paul and I are beneficiaries of a public education. Started at the Healy School in Somerville, moved out to Chelmsford, Mass, went to school there, and now we're in a wonderful town called Dedham, Massachusetts, not too far from here. Come visit us. We own a bookstore in town because we love books. Who here loves books? Do you love books? Yeah? And adults can answer too. Yeah? Oh, look at that. 100%. We love books. Yeah, books are amazing. They're powerful. And I have, by the way, when I painted the first mural, the Dot book was only 2 years old. Well, here we are 16 years later, and the Dot, you guys just celebrated International Dot Day. We had 195 countries participate, 21 million educators and students making their mark, creating art, and celebrating creativity and bravery just last week. So I just want to say a big thank you for inviting me to be a part of your school once again. When you walk down the halls, I want you to be inspired by the words, by the color, by the creativity, and there's a big orange dot right across the hall from here, and there are some words that I feel very passionate about. And these are not just for kids, they're for all of us. Reach for your own words. Tell the world who you are and how you will make it better. Of course, to share what you're thinking, feeling, and dreaming, we do need words. Words are incredibly important. This book, The Word Collector, also provided inspiration for the mural. which, by the way, big thank you to Chief Joseph, who made the mural possible. Yeah, I'm sure we'll give him some applause. Go ahead, yes, for Chief Joseph. And so this is the book that inspired all of the words that are floating through the colorful cosmos of your mural. And I brought a copy here, and who introduced me? What's your name? Yeah. Desmond? Can you come up here? I would like to give Desmond a copy of this book. Desmond, I hope that inspires you on your journey. I see some faces. Who else would like a book? Oh my goodness, let's see, I have three copies. Gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody could get a copy of a book signed? Well, I'll have to come back and sign them because I haven't signed all of them. Guess what, guys? Magical things happen at school openings, and today, every single person in this room is going to get, all the kids and in your classrooms, everybody is going to get a copy of the Word Collector. That was an exuberant, effervescent response. That is wonderful. And by the way, guys, I write my books for all ages. And by the way, we have copies of the book for our dignitaries here, all the people who were part of this amazing adventure. We are writing a story, right? By the way, you have an amazing library, and I have a bunch of my books in there, and I have a lot more books coming. But the most important story written in this school will be your story. And every day you get a chance to add one more page to your story. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of the Beal School Story. You guys are amazing, awesome. Thank you to everybody in the community. Hang on to your book, and may it inspire you on the most amazing, stellar journey. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to do our formal dedication. Please join me in welcoming Susan Hafalati and Rajveer Singh to dedicate New Beal School.
On this day, Friday, September 24th, 2021, we hereby dedicate our new Major Howard W. Beal School to current and future kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth grade students. The design of the building promotes inclusion of all students and a connection with the natural world around us, an appreciation of the arts, and a commitment to healthier learning practices. We are grateful to learn in a space that will prepare us for whatever the future brings, and we will be ready to meet every obstacle along the way with skill, grace, and a smile. We also dedicate this building to our committed and loving teachers. This is a beautiful building, but the true beauty comes from those within it. We are grateful to our teachers, assistants, and all of those who chose that Beal School and teaching in Shrewsbury is the place where they want to change the world. Thank you for being that change for us. Finally, we dedicate this new school to all members of the Shrewsbury community. This school is designed to provide programs to all members of our community during and after school, on weekends, vacations, and throughout the summer. Beal School is not just home to those who live in certain neighborhoods. It is a special resource that everyone in Shrewsbury can benefit from. Thank you to our community for building this school for all of us.
Thank you for your very important words, Susie and Rajveer. My name is Shelley Hoy, and I'm honored and privileged to be the assistant principal here at Beal School. As we conclude this morning, we'd like to thank everyone who helped bring the vision of Beal School to life. Whether it was planning, building, campaigning, hiring, ordering materials, or preparing for students, the Beal School community thanks each and every one of you here today for assuming responsibility to provide what we all know is necessary for thoughtful, purposeful, and inclusive teaching and learning to occur. We'd like to offer a special thank you to our two music teachers, Ms. Jillian Falvo and Ms. Skylar Aconcio, for coordinating the spectacular musical performances. I'm going to thank a few more people, so let's hold the applause till the end. We'd also like to thank our creative art teachers, Miss Mary Bono and Miss Whitney Archambault, and all of our students and staff for the beautiful artwork that you created to celebrate Dot Day. And it's spread throughout the whole building so you can see it today. We'd like to thank Napoli Italian Deli for catering this morning's reception, our fourth grade presenters for their participation in this morning's ceremony, Hannah Bartel, Desmond Conlon, Alice DeMora, Susan Havalati, Chloe Huang, Oliver McCoy, Jaina O, Vihan Sabinani, Owen Salvi, and Rajveer Singh. Thank you to our staff and students as you work with us to build safe, respectful, fun routines in this beautiful new school building. And finally, we can't conclude without a special thank you to Mr. Chris Girardi. Your vision and dedication to this project over the years has been instrumental, and we're all fortunate to have you leading the school. Thank you. I think I speak for everyone when I say that what we are most excited about is being able to come to Beal each day and witness as everyone here makes their mark. We can't wait to see where it takes us all.